He is worthy of the Senate! We are drowning!
Rome, the empire that gave us law, roads, architecture, and also a tax on pee, a horse politician, and an emperor who declared war on the ocean. You know, just your standard global superpower behavior. Today, we're exploring 10 times the Roman Empire went full dumb, where genius met chaos and civilization looked a lot like a fever dream with better sandals. The Roman Empire lasted over 1,000 years. That's a millennium of innovation, conquest, and extremely questionable life choices. They built the Colosseum, an architectural masterpiece, then used it to watch people fight lions for lunch entertainment. But behind the marble and glory were emperors who acted like toddlers with unlimited credit cards. So buckle your sandals, dear viewer. We're going on a historically accurate dumpster fire tour through ancient stupidity, the kind that makes you feel slightly better about modern politics. Fact number 1, Caligula versus the sea. Ah yes, Emperor Caligula. Proof that absolute power attracts the absolutely ridiculous. After planning an invasion of Britain, Caligula changed his mind mid-campaign and instead ordered his army to attack the ocean. Yes, the literal sea. Roman soldiers, veterans of real wars, were commanded to line up and stab waves with their swords.
Conquer the sea!
After defeating Neptune, god of the sea, Caligula had them collect seashells as trophies, calling them spoils of war. Imagine explaining that one at the Veterans Banquet. Yeah, I fought valiantly at the Battle of Low Tide. Historically, scholars think Caligula did this to mock the Senate's obsession with symbolic victories. But honestly, he was also just unhinged. So the next time your boss gives you a pointless task, remember, at least you're not stabbing the ocean for a guy in a toga. Fact number 2. Incitatus, the horse who almost ran Rome. Caligula wasn't done being Caligula. He also had a horse named Incitatus, whom he loved so much he nearly made it a consul, one of the highest offices in Rome. Because why settle for corrupt politicians when you can have a four-legged one? He built Incitatus a marble stable, gave it a jewel-encrusted collar, and hosted banquets where the horse was the guest of honor. Some sources even claim servants fed it oats mixed with gold flakes. Nothing says, "I'm fine," like gold-plated horse chow. Historians debate whether Caligula was mocking the Senate or genuinely off his rocker. Either way, the symbolism was clear. He was showing that his horse could do a senator's job just as well. Honestly, he wasn't wrong. The Senate mostly sat around arguing about who got the biggest statue. So in a way, Incitatus might have been the most qualified politician in Rome. Fact number 3. The pea tax and Roman laundry nightmare. You know your civilization's gone too far when urine becomes legal tender. Enter Emperor Vespasian, who invented the urine tax. Because when in Rome, monetize everything, even pee. Public urinals were installed around the city, and the collected urine was sold to laundromats. Why? Because the ammonia in pee made it great for whitening togas and cleaning clothes. Yeah, Romans basically bleached with biology.
The implementation of the lex vicinima required immediate payment. The olfactory standards of the imperial tax house, however, required immediate laundering.
Vespasian even defended the tax to his son by holding up a coin and saying, "Money doesn't stink," which became the Roman equivalent of, "It's just business, bro." So next time you think your job stinks, remember, some Roman dude literally stirred laundry in human pee for a living. This wasn't a rare quirk either. It was citywide, normalized, and taxed by law. So technically, Rome's economic foundation was built on urine, which really puts liquid assets in perspective.
Fact number 4. When Roman firefighters became arson negotiators.
Picture this. Your house is on fire. The flames are spreading, smoke fills the air, and a group of firefighters arrives. You breathe a sigh of relief. Except in ancient Rome, the firefighters didn't actually put out fires until you paid them first. Under Emperor Augustus, a group called the Vigiles was supposed to protect Rome from fires. But some of them figured out an ancient business model called extortion. They'd show up to a burning building and demand payment before saving it. If you refused, they'd just watch it burn. Nice villa. Be a shame if it kept being on fire.
We are a private service. Payment first.
Take these coins, quickly.
70, 80. Very well. To the hoses, men!
In fairness, ancient Rome had terrible urban planning. Wood buildings, open flames, and zero safety codes. Fires were constant. But this mix of corruption and chaos turned Roman firefighting into a literal protection racket. So yeah, next time someone complains about modern insurance rates, just remind them Rome invented pay to extinguish. Fact number 5. The teen emperor who married a god. If Caligula was the Roman Empire's chaotic uncle, then Emperor Elagabalus was its teenage drama queen phase. He became emperor at 14 years old, and immediately started making religious reforms nobody asked for. Imagine giving a hormonal teenager control of an empire. What could go wrong? Elagabalus worshipped a Syrian sun god named Elagabal, and decided everyone else should too. So he brought the god's sacred black stone to Rome, built a temple, and, not joking, held a marriage ceremony between himself and the god.
By the power of the glowing rock, we now pronounce you magnificent!
That's right, he married a rock. And it wasn't even a cool rock like a meteorite sword or something, just a lump of basalt in a fancy robe. Historians say he used the marriage to symbolize divine unity between Rome and the East, but the Senate was not amused. Still, you've got to admire the commitment. The guy really put the solid in solid relationship. Fact number 6. Nero's talent show from hell. Rome has seen its share of bad leaders, but Emperor Nero was basically what happens when you cross a dictator with a failed theater kid. Nero fancied himself a world-class performer. Singer, actor, poet, you name it. He forced the Roman elite to attend his endless shows, which could last hours, sometimes days. If you left early, you risked execution. Nothing like art appreciation under threat of death. Rumor has it that women gave birth during his concerts, and men faked fainting just to get carried out. When your music literally sends people into labor, that's not applause. That's evacuation. To be fair, Nero wasn't completely talentless, but his obsession with performance over governance didn't help when, Rome burned down.
Oh, what a glorious blaze, illuminating my days! The city is burning! Run, fire!
He famously played the lyre while Rome burned, though historians say he actually organized relief efforts later. Still, optics were not great. So remember, you can't spell fiddling disaster without N-E-R-O. Fact number 7. Rome's love affair with lead poisoning. Ancient Rome, home of marble palaces, advanced plumbing, and widespread heavy metal poisoning. See, Romans used lead for everything. Pipes, cookware, cosmetics, even sweeteners. They made a syrup called sapa by boiling grape juice in lead pots, which created a sugary lead acetate. Basically, Roman Gatorade, but for dementia. Historians believe this contributed to everything from fertility issues to mass insanity among the elite. Which might explain why half the emperors thought they were gods and the other half married inanimate objects. To be fair, Romans didn't know lead was toxic. They just liked how shiny it was. But when your water system and your wine are both dripping poison, you've kind of earned your Darwin Award.
The elite particularly favored lead goblets for their wine.
Oh, wine!
So yes, Rome fell for many reasons, but one of them might literally be that the ruling class was too lead-brained to rule.
Fact number 8.
Flaming pigeon warfare. Romans were great engineers. Aqueducts, roads, siege engines. But they also invented possibly the dumbest military tactic ever. Fire pigeons. They'd tie flaming torches to birds and release them toward enemy cities. Because when has strapping fire to unpredictable flying animals ever gone wrong? The plan: birds would roost on wooden rooftops, setting the city ablaze. The reality? Most birds panicked, turned around, and set Roman camps on fire instead. Mission failed successfully.
Marvelous! We are geniuses! Wait, they are coming back! Oh dear! Run for your lives!
Even the historian Pliny the Elder mentioned the Romans trying animal-delivered fire. So yes, this was an actual military strategy, invented centuries before drones, and just as chaotic. It's a miracle Rome ever conquered anything when part of their arsenal was kamikaze pigeons. Fact number 9. Purple dye and the fashion police. In Rome, purple wasn't just a color. It was a death wish. Only emperors could wear pure purple, made from crushed sea snails called murex. The process was insanely expensive. It took thousands of snails to dye one toga. Snail genocide for drip. If a non-royal dared wear imperial purple, they could be executed for impersonating the emperor. So yeah, Rome invented both luxury fashion and cancel culture. The dye smelled awful too. Ancient writers said murex dye reeked of death, which meant the higher your rank, the more you smelled like decomposing seafood. In a world where fashion kills, Rome took it literally. Fact number 10. The Roman ghost banquets. Romans were big on honoring their ancestors, sometimes a little too big. They'd host elaborate ghost banquets, where families set out food and wine for their dead relatives. Archaeologists have found banquet rooms attached to tombs, complete with pipes leading into graves, so mourners could pour wine directly into the earth for the deceased to drink. Nothing says family bonding like shotgunning Merlot into Grandma's coffin. The practice was meant to keep spirits happy, because angry ghosts, or lemures, were believed to haunt the living. Every May, Romans even held the Lemuria festival, throwing black beans behind them to distract wandering souls. Yeah, ancient Rome, where you fed your ancestors and bribed ghosts with legumes. It's weirdly sweet, though. The Romans really did believe love transcended death. And also that ghosts love carbs. And there you have it. 10 moments proving the Roman Empire was equal parts genius and what the hell? They built wonders that still stand today, but also waged war on the sea, drank lead, and taxed pee. Truly, the empire that conquered the world, one bad idea at a time. So the next time someone says Rome wasn't built in a day, remind them, yeah, but it sure burned like it was. Thanks for watching, and remember, history doesn't repeat itself. Humans just refuse to learn.
If you enjoyed this, smash that like button and subscribe for weekly uploads.